Strong numbers in Canada and the U.S. bring more questions on what the central banks do next. Host of Real Ag Radio, Sean Haney, joins us now for an outlook on the matter. And Sean, as always, thanks for your time here this morning. So what were the Canadian job numbers that came out?
Hey, Jenna, good to be with you here today. So yeah, Canada also, on top of the U.S., put out their job numbers. And really, Canada put a very strong number on the board. Now, expectations were 5,000 new jobs. Canada posted 104,000, which really blew away any sort of expectations. Other interesting thing is the unemployment rate fell to 5%, down from 5.1% a month earlier. So that's gathering everyone's attention. And what all this job growth was really interesting is being entirely led by the private sector, which is absolutely amazing. If you look at the past year, Canada added 401,000 jobs in the full-time nature, while the net number was only 394, so losing public sector jobs. So very, very strong numbers for the Canadian job economy.
Now, are there any expectations that the Bank of Canada is going to continue to raise those rates through the first half of this year?
Well, if you're one of the people that falls into believing the narrative that central banks have to continue to increase interest rates until we see unemployment go higher, then I think the answer is yes. At the same time, prior to this jobs number, we were starting to hear more into the interviewed Canadian economists that maybe the Bank of Canada would actually pause after the December rate hike. I'm not sure after today's numbers that they're going to be able to afford to do so. Maybe we'll see more 25 basis point increases than the 50. Obviously, time will tell. But is the Bank of Canada done? It does not look so based on what we've seen here today.
Now, what have you been hearing from the Real Ag Radio audience in terms of access to labor whenever we've got such a tight job market?
Yeah, yesterday on Real Ag Radio, we did our farmer rapid fire, and I had a few farmers point out that, it's almost impossible to find farm laborers. And if you do have them, trying to keep them is the next challenge. Very, very difficult. Also hearing from the fruit and vegetable sector as of late, complaints of slow temporary foreign worker application processing. That's a concern because that's a huge source of labor for the fruit and veg horticulture sector. What are the solutions? Well, two things always come up, and one of them is the opportunity for autonomy and robotics in the longer term for the cropping sector, as an example. But that's long tail. I ain't going to help in 2023 planting. So a lot of talk this week in Canada, not just in agriculture, but across many industries, based on how tight the job market is. We need to have increased targeted immigration. Because there's just not the supply of workers in Canada. So we'll see if that becomes an increased focus for the government, because 2022 there was a large amount of immigrants processed, and maybe that 2023 number will be even higher.
All right, Sean, as always, thanks for your insight this morning. Host of Real Ag Radio, Sean Haney, connecting with us here over the phone today. You can catch him on his show, Real Ag Radio. That's at 4:30 Eastern each weekday afternoon on Rural Radio 147 Sirius XM. We'll chat with him here again on the Market Day Report on Monday. You can also go online to realagriculture.com for more information.